video, I'm fishing with a camera 300 feet deep under giant cargo ships, and we are going to see what we can catch down there. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. We start off our morning heading out of Boca Inlet. Once we got out there, the plan today was to do some trolling. Sadly, we didn't get a single bite for about 2 hours. So we decided to head down to Fort Lauderdale where these cargo ships were. So we made a 10-mile run south, and once we got to these cargo ships, it was time to start setting up our rig. And the plan today was to drop on a shipwreck in about 300 feet of water. So we positioned on the spot, and this is what the spot looked like. There was a ton of structure down there. So the first thing I had to do once we got to this spot was rig up the underwater camera. Once the underwater camera was ready to go, I then took some full squids and cut them into really small pieces. Once all the squid was rigged up, it was now time to put this rig in the water. So I loosened the drag on my electric reel, and now it's time to make our way down 300 feet deep. So we now switch over to our underwater camera point of view. And the best part about dropping shallow is this only takes us about a minute to get down to the bottom. If you guys watch our other videos when we're dropping 600 feet deep, it sometimes takes us 5 minutes just to get down to the bottom. We are now about 20 seconds off the bottom, and as you guys can see, it is really bright down here. When we're dropping 600 feet deep, it is pitch black. But we have just hit the bottom now, and just look how much life was on this wreck. The second we hit bottom, there was already a ton of snapper around our camera, and these are all vermilion snappers. You guys will also see some bait in the mix. You're gonna see some lionfish, but it just shows you how packed these South Florida wrecks are. So we sat on the bottom for about 2 minutes, and there was just snapper everywhere. And let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite way to cook these vermilion snapper? Because this day that we came out here for these snapper, it was actually our first time targeting these fish, and let me tell you, they tasted awesome. So these fish started picking at our squid, and I could not get a bite here. So we patiently waited a little longer. At this point now, we lost that bottom bait. So we're down to 2 more baits, and these snappers were somehow able to pull all our squid off our hooks. So one of these fish finally hit the squid, and I was able to hook into the first fish. But you guys already know my luck. When I'm bringing these fish up is always when I lose them. And the second I brought this fish off the bottom, he got right off the hook. And that's how our first drop came to an end. Now it's time for drop number 2. Hopefully we get some more luck on this next drop. So I put on some brand new squid, and then we positioned a boat right near this giant cargo ship. And now it's time to make our way down for drop number 2. And if you guys are enjoying this video, drop a like. These deep drop videos usually take us hours to film. So now it's time to start making our way down for drop number 2. So we are now about 30 seconds off the bottom, and hopefully on this drop we're able to land one of these vermilion snappers. And if you guys want to come out here and try to catch some of these snappers, the spot we were fishing on this day is a ledge right off Fort Lauderdale. It's actually a public number, and honestly this is a great kind of fishing if you're just looking for some quick action. We are now 15 seconds off the bottom, and on this drop there was more action than that first drop. We were able to see a ton of snappers, and then we saw this one lionfish go right by the camera. So we now are about to hit bottom, and sadly on this day we actually got stuck on this wreck, and it costed us half of our rig. Luckily we were able to save the camera. But we have finally hit bottom, and it didn't take long again before the first couple of fish showed up. So another snapper showed up, but if you guys look on the bottom, look at that giant lionfish. This thing was just cruising on the bottom. But these snappers continued to attack our bait, and honestly on this drop, I wasn't pulling it up until I was confident we had a fish. These fish continued to rip up our squid, and I don't know how we weren't able to hook any of them. On this day, I think our hooks were way too big. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure what the right size hook is. If you guys do this kind of snapper fishing, let me know in the comments down below what size hook you guys are using, because for some reason on this day, we couldn't hook a single one. So we drifted off the wreck here, and at this point, we were almost down to no bait. As you guys can see, these fish were able to pull off all our squid. So after patiently waiting for about 2 or 3 minutes down here, one of these fish finally got hooked, and it was a nice size vermilion snapper. You guys can see him right there. So I slowly started bringing this fish off the bottom. Instead of rushing to get him to the boat this time, I took it extremely slow. But if you guys look below this fish, look how many more snapper there were. There was another 40 or 50 snapper down there. We now had this fish about 40 feet off the bottom, and it looks like we finally had our first fish hooked. We now have this fish right under the boat, and at this point I was able to pick up some speed on the electric reel. And these vermilion snapper do have to be 12 inches. But the best part about them is even on the slow trolling days, you could come out here and still load up on some dinner. So we now had the fish right under the boat, and we were successfully able to land this beautiful vermilion snapper. After doing a couple more of these drops, we decided to call it a day. We hope you guys enjoyed this fishing video, and we hope to see you in the next Barjack's Family fishing video.